Gridiron Grinder, hut hut hike.
Cord. Hey, party people! Thursday night, Gridiron Grinder time. I'm Ryan. With me, as always, my buddy James. Just a couple of dudes hanging out, talking about what's going on in the NFL each week. We are, for tonight, going to switch things up from what we've kind of done in past years just because we've been out of sequence this time around. And so instead of doing a free agency recap, which we've kind of done the last 2 weeks as we've gone, we're going to instead do a mock draft critique. And so Charles Davis just came out with his mock draft 3.0. And, we're like a month or so away from the NFL draft. We're going to have a couple off weeks here. And so we thought this would be a fun one to do. The next time you guys see us, we're going to do our round one mock draft ourselves. So this is just kind of a good way to get those juices flowing and start getting us thinking about what to expect and what are people looking at and all that kind of fun stuff. And so, with all that being said, how's it going tonight there, James?
It's going all right. How's it going with you?
That's going all right, man. I'm feeling better than I did last week. So, I'll take that as a positive, I suppose. Yeah. But I like you. I like your idea. You just burn it out with some brown, man.
Yeah, sound the same to me. Last week it didn't seem like you were sick at all. But unlike me, was it the week before I was just like fucking destroyed and couldn't fucking do anything.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit going around, man. I don't know how it is in your area, but it's like everyone I talk to lately is they're either sick or know someone that's sick, and it's all different kinds of stuff. It's just been like these like rotating cycles. But yeah. So all right, before we dive in, man, was there anything in the news that you wanted to hit since we're kind of just doing a slightly different thing than we normally do?
The only thing like top of mind for me, and then the one thing is Brady quote. Brady said, quote, the NFL didn't like the idea of him having a comeback.
Yeah, I saw he like looked into, could he latch on with the team if they had like a quarterback get hurt in the playoffs, and he says he's not gonna be doing it. So it's all good.
Yeah, and the other thing is for those out there, you have to prepare and you have to get in that good credit now, because not only is the Super Bowl on Valentine's Day after this coming season.
Ooh.
The season starts on Wednesday, not Thursday.
Ooh, okay. What, an international game or something kicking it off, or what?
It starts with Seattle on Wednesday. So the game in Australia is like Friday morning Australia time.
Sure.
But it's like 8:45 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday.
Gotcha. But they're doing a Wednesday to kick it off. That's weird.
Yeah, and then they're going to do Wednesday to kick it off because of that. I had heard and I known for a while that Wednesday was going to be the kickoff. I didn't know why they did that.
Yeah.
But it came out that it was because Thursday night is the Australia game. And I'm sorry, I said 8:45. It's 8:35 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
It's 10:35 a.m. Australian time.
Yeah, down under, mate.
Friday. I think this season the Rams and the 49ers are kind of getting a raw deal because they have to go to fucking Australia to start the season, and they have a game 8 days? Both have a game 8 days later.
Okay.
Like unless they start them on both on Monday night, because a lot of times you have that Monday night doubleheader to start the season.
Yeah.
If they start them both on Monday night, that would be better for the teams. But
I don't know. Well, whatever, man. I'm not, I'm not crying for these uber rich athletes, man. I do feel for them because it does affect their their schedule long term? Like, could that throw a wrench in some things? Because the NFL is just not a long season. But I don't know. I'm in a crap mood. I would have more empathy maybe another night.
Yeah. The other
Or
thing
or
is,
or if it was the Lions, and I'd be like, this is garbage.
one thing I wanted to talk about and kind of mention, and we can get your opinion on, is did you hear what the comments Joe Flacco made? I think it
I
was
just heard he
this
said
week.
something about teams were dumb to not sign him.
He said,
I'm guessing
"quote,"
it was deeper than that.
he said, "Believe me, I wish I was a guy somewhere, and I think teams are dumb for not having me be that guy."
Okay. And was it related to this signing or last year?
I think it was related to this year. Blah blah blah.
Okay, because the way that I heard it was that he was reflecting on last off season and basically saying he had shown that he should have started somewhere and that it was like garbage that more teams weren't calling him to kick the tires, and that's why he thought they were dumb. But maybe it was this year and same thing. The thing is he's now in that phase where every year that goes by, it's harder and harder to say, oh well, we're gonna make this guy like a guaranteed 1 year starter because his arm could fall off the cliff at any time, man.
Yeah, and so that was this year coming into like this was recent comments because he talked about Kyler Murray into a signing and
I got you.
so
I like Flacco, man. It's all
I
good.
do. He's getting old, but
Yeah, and he's a statue. There's very limited mobility, but you know, the dude, he's just a savvy veteran guy, but he's definitely a backup at this stage or a bridge at this stage, right? And so maybe there's something there where it's like, yeah, he was expecting one of these teams that has a bigger need at quarterback where they're probably going to draft a guy, knowing that, you really only got maybe one or two guys with a first round grade this year. Why wouldn't you bring in a guy like Flacco and let him bridge it until you figure it out or whatever? I don't know, but it's all right, man. He just very long in the tooth.
the other thing is, and I don't know the legitimacy of this, but Puka Nakua has been in the news because he's being
Yeah.
sued for, and it's something to keep an eye on. I don't know with the league because you know how the league is with like personal conduct. Apparently, he said, "Fuck all," and quote, "fuck all the Jews."
Yeah, this
And
this was known last year, and I was kind of surprised that like the NFL, I guess my thing is if they were going to suspend him or take some action against him, it should have happened already. It's kind of weird that they let him do the playoff run and everything last season, knowing that this was hanging out there.
no, this is recent.
Oh, okay, because going into the playoffs, there were like some reports of him making like anti-Semitic comments.
Wait, hold on, maybe this wasn't.
I think he's recently being sued for it,
Yeah,
unless
I
he
guess
made
I
more
guess it
comments.
I guess it was the end of last year because it says over 3 months after. Or I thought it was recent was because apparently the woman filed for a temporary restraining order against Nakua on
Okay.
April 14th of last year.
Well, it would have
Or
had to
no,
been last year.
a hearing is scheduled for April 14th. Okay,
Okay.
I'm just not reading
That's all right.
right.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's, I don't know. To me, it's like, did the NFL or maybe the NFL is saying we're waiting to see if there's something legal that comes out of it before we decide how hard we're going to come down on him. I don't know. But I didn't like that it was known going into the playoffs that he made these comments in the league basically just like sat on it like, oh, well, he's their top wide receiver. They're a team that could go to the Super Bowl. We better just wait and see what happens. And I know it's maybe not that simple, right? But like to me, the optics looked bad like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you hear about the shit that with Florida?
No, what's going on in Florida?
Florida's attorney general is in a video posted, I don't know what, is threatening legal action. I'm pausing because I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Legal action against the NFL unless they rescind the Rooney Rule,
Okay.
because something about it turns out being discriminatory against white males.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want to like make the show about that kind of stuff, right? But I have seen a lot of weird, you know, like arguments against DEI and things like that
Yeah,
that
but
talk about how pockets of society have now gone so far the other way that definitely, white men could be having a harder time than maybe what they deserve or what they should. But
and
that's
it's
that's not our wheelhouse for that. But you're just reporting on what this guy is talking
yeah.
about. Yeah.
Well, first of all, when it comes to the NFL and the Rooney Rule being discriminatory against white males, in I think it was 2003 when the Rooney Rule was instituted, there were three African American coaches.
Okay.
In 23 years later, in 2026, there are three African American coaches. How the
Yeah.
fuck is the Rooney Rule causing discrimination against white men?
Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you look at it just on that one data point, you'd say then it's a failure for what it's attempting to do, but it is forcing teams, whether it's through like sort of like pseudo interviews, going out and in trying to give these minority candidates an opportunity, which keep in mind would be potentially an opportunity that maybe I'm not like saying this. I'm just saying hypothetically, it could be blocking maybe a more deserving white candidate from getting that interview because the team only has so many slots available and they've got to fill X amount of them with a minority coach. We talked about this the
They
other
don't.
year. Look, we
A lot
talked
of
about this. We talked about this the other year with Ben Johnson, saying it's like hypothetically, there are years where you have these hot up and coming guys where it's like you would not want to deny them when they are so blatantly, obviously primed to be a candidate. But I get it, man. The league is just trying to be fair, and how they do that, I don't really know what it is. I just know that it's a sensitive subject because
yeah,
race is involved.
yeah, and the history of the Rooney Rule is because, and there was statistical analysis done, winning
Yeah,
percentages of white coaches versus black coaches, and how black coaches that had the same winning percentage as a white coach were fired earlier than the white coach,
oh, gotcha.
and and it came about with more or less Denny Green and Herm Edwards. Herm Edwards
Yeah,
had a winning record in Tampa Bay, but was let go. Denny Green had winning seasons every year, had one down year, and they fired him.
gotcha.
And there was a study done on it, which kind of looked at it and the results of it, and it could be biased because anytime you study anything, there
Yeah,
you're
they kind of go
there's
in with a
yeah,
you know
you go in
with a
trying to
certain
prove
angle.
what I say with research and my comment. If you go in trying to prove anything,
You'll
you
find
will
that.
you'll
Yeah,
find a way to prove it.
Yeah, you'll find the information you need to make your case.
Yeah. Anecdotally, it appears to be the case. But still, I don't think the government has, like, you have to show clear harm.
Yeah,
And there's not clear harm in it because you're basically at the same point.
yeah, yeah. I
I
got
just
you.
I just noticed we have like 90 seconds left. Um, so I don't know if we're going to get into the draft. We probably could just scrap this and do the mock draft critique anyways, because nobody's gonna listen to us ranting about stupid shit.
Yeah, it's all good, man. We got a minute. We could take our break and come back and pick it back up, man.
All right, sounds good.
All right, talk to you in 10, homie.
All right, see you.
Okay, we are back. Uh, Nothing like a whiskey burp. And we are going to critique Charles Davis's mock draft 3.0. And I mean, critique sounds like it's, we're going to pick him apart like he doesn't know what he's doing. Not the case at all. We're just going to kind of comment on it because, we're going to look at what the teams need, who's best available, whatever. So, with all that being said, James, the Raiders are the first team on the board. I think everybody and their mom is expecting them to pick a quarterback. Their top three needs are quarterback, wide receiver, defensive tackle. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but they didn't do what they did this offseason not to pick a quarterback. They got the anchor on their offensive line, and Linderbaum overpaid them. I think, trying to remember. Let me pull it up while we're talking about it, because I swear
they're having
some
a nice
other
stuff
on the offensive line.
Yeah, so they brought in Spencer
Bradford at guard.
Yep.
Yeah, Burford at guard, Linderbaum at center. I mean, that's the anchor of your offensive line. Your offensive line.
Yeah, they still got Colt Miller or whatever. But they do need more help on the offensive line for sure. But this gives them a start, and it's a slam dunk they're taking Mendoza.
Yeah, it's a slam dunk. Like, I would be shocked if they took anybody but Mendoza. Like, how everything is lining up. It's Mendoza. Charles Davis has him taking Mendoza. I think everybody and their mother has him taking Mendoza. I think it's
Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell's the only quarterback on the roster. It'd be like a crazy, complicated game theory move if they were to like maybe trade with the Jets or something and be like, oh, tricked everybody. No, they're taking Mendoza. So I think
here's the thing. But if you're them and you have any doubts on Mendoza,
that's what you do. You stack it to look like it.
Yeah, you stack it to look like it, and then you trade out,
build teams. Picks. Teams are like, oh, we know they're going to go get them, so we got to make it a bigger offer. I agree, but that's not going to happen here.
Yeah, exactly. Next up, we got the Jets. And for some reason, my page
top
decided to reload on my
wide receiver, quarterback, edge.
Yeah, and here's the thing: I could see them going Ty Simpson out of desperation here, but I also think they're hesitant to pick the second best quarterback in the draft, who's probably not a first rounder. In a normal world, quarterbacks are always way overdrafted. I think it's a big stretch to pick him at 2. So I agree with Charles Davis, where they'll probably go with edge or wide receiver. I think edge is probably the safe bet here. Wide receiver, looking at it like it's a little bit of reach for where the wide receivers are. It is a little bit but it's not as big of a reach. Like, wide receiver is like a 9-spot reach versus edge. It's a 5-spot reach for an edge guy, and it depends on which one you want, which one suits your fancy. I don't Oh no, it's like a one spot. Okay, that makes more sense. So
Yeah, I mean,
Arvil Reese must be an outside linebacker, which could theoretically play edge for them.
yeah, yeah, which I think that's the case because yeah, it's because my whole thing is they go the entire season without an interception.
Mhm.
It's like, there's two theories, right? One of them is that, well, you got to get a playmaker in the secondary. Caleb Downs is there, but they did go and make some moves at safety, so it probably doesn't really fit. So the
Right,
other
but
theory is you get more pressure on the quarterback with an edge guy, and it makes like life way easier for your secondary. And you know, that makes sense, right? I
mhm.
think Aaron Glenn, he's a smart enough defensive guy to know that you got to build from the trenches, get your edge guy. If you can't trade out of the pick, you get your edge guy. And I think that they should, maybe because of the quarterback thing being in play for next year, you know, when you get to your second first round pick, you got to be thinking, what do we do here? Do we need to move back? Do we need to maybe trade that for another first round pick next year, even though they got two next year? Because the thing is, they really need all the ammo for next year to get the
Yeah.
number one pick if they're going to pass on a quarterback now.
No, holy shit! Iowa beat Nebraska.
Oh boy.
Sorry. And the thing with it is, I think they're going to be hard pressed to move out of the number two pick
Yeah, I
because
agree. I agree. The
because
way the
if you look
board
at
is
it
this year. Yeah.
exactly, if you look at it, like Tennessee thinks they have their quarterback, the Giants think they have their quarterback,
Yeah.
Cleveland, that's up in the air. The Commanders probably have their quarterback. The Saints think they have their quarterback. Kansas City obviously has their quarterback. Cincinnati has
And
their
people are
quarterback.
moving up to two for Ty Simpson.
Yeah, exactly. If they're going to move up to Ty Simpson, like for Ty Simpson, like you're looking at like he's still around at like 10 to move up for him. If he falls to
Yeah.
you where you are, then maybe you pick him. But I still don't think Ty Simpson is a first round draft pick. I think he's second round draft pick. I wanted to look at his grade according to ESPN.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's
I'm trying to
his
I'm
grade
trying to scroll
is
down. Yeah.
his grade according to ESPN is 35 overall.
No, no, no. 86. He's ranked 35th overall.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I was talking about his pick grade.
Yeah. So I mean they have
But
him at the
also
start of the second round, which would be
also
prime for a late first round pick, so you get your
exactly.
option on him.
Exactly. But an 86 overall, that's not a top 10 pick.
No, it's
Like
just
you're
that,
doing
we
you're
live in a world where quarterbacks, especially as the draft gets closer, they go running up the board, man. And so
yeah,
anything could
perfect
happen,
example
but
is
I
Minnesota
hear you.
Minnesota with JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy was part of an offense that he didn't have to be the star. And the Vikings picked him, what was it, 11th overall?
Yeah, it was way too early. We know that.
But then on the flip side, you have Jackson Dart, who looks like he's going to be a star. That was picked that the Giants moved back. I want to say he was picked 15th.
I wasn't sold on Jackson Dart coming out of college. I think he had a great rookie year, and now I'm like crazy excited about it for him. But sometimes you see something, sometimes you don't. And I didn't see it with him, but I'm definitely seeing it now.
I was right with the five. He was 25th overall. With Jackson Dart, I saw potential. I didn't see a first round quarterback. I saw somebody that needed development but could have the potential. Where I mean, with the Giants, he looks like he fits the bill of a late first round quarterback, which is more of what Ty Simpson is. So then also for the Jets to move out, like another thing, it depends on if who's available there. Like if you have Ervil Reese available there,
Yeah.
like which you're gonna have, you don't move out of the pick. You take him. That locks down your edge for at least the next 5 years. And like you said, that'll help your secondary. So I think
Yeah,
I
the
like the
the
pick here. I do
Me,
see other picks. Other picks. It's kind of Reese or David Bailey. I think Bailey's more of a stretch.
okay. See, I was going to say that if you're not looking at Reese, I mean maybe or David Bailey, I guess because he's another edge guy. I would say maybe Aaron Glenn says I want Sonny Styles, who's getting insane reviews as a linebacker, and this is going to be my quarterback of the defense for the next 10 years. I could say, okay, maybe you make that
Okay.
argument, but edge is obviously a way higher premium of a
Mhm.
position, and you've got a guy there in Reese or even Bailey or whatever. So it's got to be edge, man.
Yeah, it's got to be edge. And here's the thing with them with Siles and Reese, they're graded the same, so it's a flip or a coin. What do you want? Do you want inside or do you want
Yeah.
outside? And I think you're right. The edge is a better pick. You could have your quarterback, your defense in Styles, but you have a consistent pass rush in Reese,
And they,
pass
and they
rush
did
in
bring
Reese.
in they did bring in Demario Davis on a 2-year deal. So I mean, it's not like they're without people at linebacker, right? Like they're
Yeah.
going to be okay. So I think I think that's the move, man.
All right. Then we have Arizona, and I've seen a lot of different picks. I've Charles Davis has them taking Ty Simpson. I haven't seen Ty Simpson on any other mock draft going to Arizona besides Charles Davis. Arizona does need a quarterback, but
But yeah, let's
I
let's
think
pause there, right? Because they still have Jacoby Brissett, right? And they brought in
mhm,
Gardner Minshew.
exactly.
That to me says they're comfortable running with those two guys while they build the roster and then they go after it next year.
No, exactly. That's what it says to me too. I think also it depends because I think David Bailey on edge is a reach here. That's kind of what I've seen with it. It's they
Well, so
have
their
a lot.
so their needs are their top three are offensive line, quarterback, and safety. And so, I mean, we historically have been in line with you start in the trenches. Would you go after, Ione, however you say his name from Penn State, or do you go Moaga from Miami at tackle?
See, that's what I've seen. That's mostly what I've seen in these mock drafts. Is I've seen them going with Myoga. Like honestly,
that's where I would go,
yeah.
and I would
If
say if you're going to defect from that, and safety is one of your top needs. Well, you got Caleb Downs, the number 2 overall prospect, like a potential rare breed at safety. But um, I would prefer them build on the offensive line. And, we saw fucking Brissett. He was a very capable starter last year. Now you give him a little more protection. You open up some more running lanes. I mean, man, that's a building block. I would go
but
that way,
here's
but
the
that's
thing.
just my opinion.
Here's the thing about it. If like I've seen the Jets mocked to take David Bailey as opposed to Reese. If the Jets take
You're
Bailey,
talking the Cardinals.
right? I've seen most of the mocks. Charles Davis is the first one of the first mocks. Maybe I've seen it kind of
Oh,
50
you're
50
saying
between
that you've
Arvo Reese
seen
and David
Bailey
Bailey.
go to the Jets, but that if he doesn't, you think he should go to the Cardinals.
No, I'm saying if Reese isn't picked by the Jets, the Cardinals have to go with Reese.
Okay.
If Reese goes to the Jets, that opens it up more to what they need, and you could take Moyaga or you could take. I'd be fi- I'd be fine with I'd lean towards offensive line and
Yeah,
offensive
and
tackle
I
and
mean
take care of that.
they did try to throw a bunch of darts at the offensive line in free agency, right? And so like I would think you go tackle. They brought in Samalo at guard, but you know, you got to build the trench, man.
No, I agree. I'm just kind of saying that it's
Yeah.
it depends on kind. I think it depends on where the Jets go
Well, and they got
because
what
if
do they have? They have a rookie offensive minded head coach, right?
mhm,
Which means they're probably going
which
defense.
which means they're probably going defense. Exactly.
Yes, yes, they typically make that mistake. They fall into that trap, but it's probably it
Yeah.
shouldn't be Ty Simpson. It should not be Ty Simpson. Like if Clint
No.
Kubiak thinks that he can
100%.
make Ty Simpson the next whatever, well then I guess you do it. But I think that maybe Charles Davis's argument is that Clint Kubiak's going to be this quarterback whisperer. This is going to be his guy. He's hitching his wagon now. I would not do it, but you know, yeah. So that takes us to Tennessee, man.
Yeah, but also I like this. Like I could see Arizona trading back in the first round to take Ty Simpson versus picking him number 3 at all.
Yeah, and get that 5th year option. I'd be totally
Yeah,
cool with that.
exactly. I could see that versus them picking him number 3 over, or even trading back and getting picks like from one of these other teams that might need an edge guy if it's David Bailey, where because you have a few teams here that probably could use an edge. You have like Kansas City, you have Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
You have a few teams later in the first round that could use an edge that might trade up. So I would consider trading back with Arizona here if if Reese isn't available. If Reese is available here, I run that pick up as soon as I can to fucking pick Reese.
Okay.
All right, then we go to Tennessee. Tennessee needs edge, wide receiver, center. I think it's got to be an edge guy here, and it's kind of a pick your poison. Who's available?
Yeah. There's enough of them that they're going to get a guy at 4.
Yeah, because you have even after. I mean, David Bailey might be available. Um,
I mean, I guess here's the thing, right? So Charles Davis, he's showing David Bailey, and I think that's a smart pick if he's available because
mhm.
Robert Sala's going round 2 as a head coach, and his bread and butter's the defense. Um, you know, could he fall into the trap of saying, "Oh, I want Carnell Tate because Cam Ward needs a weapon"? I'm just posing that question, I don't know, dude. I think that Robert Sala is doomed to fail with Cam Ward,
Mhm.
but it's like, could you make the argument that, hey, let's just throw so many weapons at this guy that if it doesn't work, I've acquitted myself? I don't think it matters. I think he's got to go defense because that is how he wins. I'm just saying, I'm trying to play devil's advocate in my own head here
No, and I hear you.
because they don't
I
really have a wide receiver 1. Ridley was good last year, but he was not really a 1 anymore.
I think though, like if you're going wide receiver, I think you go with Jordan Tyson over Cardinal Tate.
Either way, I'm just saying, like the concept of,
No, no, and I hear you there. I think if you're going to do that, you're going to trade back 5 picks to take him. I think it's a little bit. I think if they pick him here, we'll kind of kill Tennessee because it's a little bit of a stretch.
that's fine. I would like to see them go edge because I think that's what is best suited for Solid to succeed. I'm just saying that
No,
I think
100%.
there are scenarios where maybe they say, "Oh, well, we got Cam Ward, we got to make it work."
Yeah. So then we go to the New York Giants, or
We
sorry, the
sure
New York
do.
Football Giants, which Charles Davis has Jeremiah Love. I fucking hate that.
I
First
mean,
of all, like their defensive tackle,
it's
guard, and cornerback.
yeah, defensive tackle, guard, cornerback, and not to mention that I think they're still feeling chafed about Saquon Barkley,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, are you really going to go running back that high? I do think that this is a new era with John Harbaugh, and you got to have some faith in what he's going to bring to that organization. It's just the fan base, I'm sure, went crazy for Cam Scatabo last year. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. And I know they brought in Patrick Ricard. They want to run the ball more, and so maybe it would be a great pick. I'm not going to say that it wouldn't be. It's just that it's such a luxury pick on a team that has a lot of needs.
Wow, holy shit! He's the number one overall rated prospect.
Yeah, this is the team that should be taking the guard out of Penn State, man.
No,
If
100%.
you want to fortify your offensive line, you want to open up running lanes, protect your quarterback. This is the time that you go for that, you know, fucking sort of like all pro out of the gate guard prospect. And there you go. You got your guy. I mean, to me, that is the pick. It is not Jeremiah Love. Jordan.
No, I agree. I don't like running back here. Like he is a highly rated prospect, but running back like they when you have Scattaboo, like Scattaboo showed a lot last year to
He's a hard runner, man, and he may
yeah.
be a little one dimensional, but you know what? You open up a few more lanes for him, and maybe you throw a dart at running back in round 3 or 4 to complement him. If the lanes are there, it's going to work. Remember, John Harbaugh was there with Ray Rice, second round pick. Okay, you got a good offensive line, you got a good
Uh-huh.
scheme. Those guys are like worth their weight in gold. Okay, build the offensive line, get it going, and then you can build those running back positions later in the draft. Don't that's high, man. It's such a high risk in my opinion. Such a high
It it
risk.
it is, and with Scattaboo there and what Scattaboo did last year before he
Yeah.
got injured, the team fell off once he got injured. The team was playing fucking awesome. Like Scattaboo got injured, it fell off a cliff. Like
So do you
Scattaboo's your running back. You don't draft a run if you don't need a first round running back to carry the team.
yeah, and there's not really a defensive tackle or a cornerback that you take in this spot. I think the board plays right into their hand with the guard from Penn State.
I agree. Gotta
Well, then we
gotta
agree.
gotta stop agreeing with you on all these picks. Okay, let's go to Cleveland. I
Let's do
fucking
it.
hate Charles Davis's his pick, and also if we got 5 minutes, so we probably got two more. Cleveland, I hate them taking a running back here. Like they don't have their quarterback position shored up. You can't fucking take a running back here.
You mean a wide
ESPN
receiver?
wide receiver. Sorry, ESPN
I was like, oh man, I'm looking at the wrong shit. Okay.
has their needs as tackle, offensive tackle, wide receiver, quarterback. I don't
Yeah.
think you take a quarterback or a wide receiver here. I think you go with Mayugoa
Yeah. Yeah.
here. I think you show up and this is going to be consistent with us. We talk about this. If you have needs on offensive line and you don't before you get quarterback, you shore up your offensive line. I think Cleveland has to do that. You don't need weapons if nobody can fucking block for your quarterback. If you don't have a quarterback that can throw the ball, why the fuck do you need a wide receiver like that?
No, I agree. I think that they've thrown some darts at the offensive line. And so, even if they felt satisfied there, it's a weird thing because this to me is almost like this is like the zig when people are expecting you to zag pick and
Hmm.
maybe this is like a weird Ty Simpson landing spot. And even then, I would not, because they drafted two quarterbacks last year. I don't think that it makes sense for them. I think that people are just gonna be like, "Oh my God, you guys like have no freaking plan." But but looking at what they did on offensive line and free agency makes me think like, really, what is their plan for the draft? Because I don't know. I'm with you. I don't know that a wide receiver is the right thing. So then you're looking at maybe a defensive guy. I mean, maybe this is a great spot. You go Sonny Styles, and now you've got like the best linebacker room in the league. I don't know, but it just I think whatever happens here, Cleveland's going to mess it up because
Yeah, I
they
always
don't
do.
have a very clear blueprint of what they're trying to do.
I agree, and I wouldn't mind Sonny Styles here
Keep the
either.
kid in Ohio, man.
Well, that's the argument for Cardinal Tate, but I think it's stupid to go wide receiver for them. All right, then we have Washington. Washington ESPN has their biggest need is wide receiver, cornerback, and center. Obviously, center is not going to be picked here. Wide receiver, if Cardinal Tate is available, I would consider taking him. Um, Cornerback, I think the cornerbacks in this draft class are a bit of a stretch here.
Yeah, and it's such a high bust rate. Don't reach for it if you don't have to.
So I don't have much argument against taking Sonny Styles, and it makes sense. And Charles Davis lays out a good argument for it. I don't know. I think if Colonel Tate's not available, I don't know if um because of how I have them, I have Jordan Tyson slightly ahead of Colonel Tate. I think if Colonel Tate's gone, Jordan Tyson would be good, but I don't know if Gordon Tyson's going to be available here if Tate's also gone. And then you have McCade Lemon, and I think SC has a high bust rate at wide receiver in the draft. Denzel Boston, like, it's a bit of a stretch here. I don't have much of an argument against Sonny Styles if Carnell Tate is gone.
Yeah, I would say that if Sonny Styles is here, he's the pick. He's your Bobby Wagner 2.0,
Yeah.
like they're saying. And they how did it work last year with Debo Samuel being paired with Terry McLaurin? It didn't. Okay. And I don't think it matters. I think that they still have Terry McLaurin. They will fill in the rest of the receivers and tight ends. And you have whether it's mobile Jaden Daniels or mobile Marcus Mariota. I don't think that you need to make wide receiver your priority right now. And so I'm all for Dan Quinn stocking up on defense and trying to win with that because the offense let him down last year.
Yeah. 15 seconds. So I agree, and that makes sense. I don't think I agree with you. Wide receiver is not the pick. We have 5 seconds left, so we'll take our
Talk to you
10.
in 10. Yeah.
We'll be back with. All right, we're back. We're on to the New Orleans Saints.
Nolans.
According to ESPN, the New Orleans Saints need wide receiver, edge, cornerback. Like I said earlier, they believe they have their quarterback. Plus, this draft class of quarterbacks, they're not going to get better than Shug, anyways. So, with that being said, I like the pick here. I like Charles Davis's pick of the Saints taking Jordan Tyson. Do I think Tyson will be available here? I think it's a crapshoot.
Well, then you go Carnell Tate and you have two OSU wide receivers.
Yes, you could go Colonel Tate. This also would be a decent spot to take a little bit of reach for Delane from LSU at cornerback.
Okay.
But I think wide receiver, if any of the top two are here, I think, like I said, I think Tyson is better than Tate, but It's a flip of a coin, and just who's in the right position. I like Tyson here. I think I really, in my opinion, think Jordan Tyson at 8 is a steal.
Yeah, I think they're moving from a defensive team to an offensive team,
Mm-hmm.
and they just need to embrace that because that is the strength of Kellen Moore at head coach. And so I'm good with this pick, man. Whether it's him or a different wide receiver here, I'm all right with it. I'd even be all right if they went after an offensive lineman just to say we're going to keep fortifying this offense. And so because think about it like this: if they did that, it's like you're saying, okay, ETN, Alvin Kamara, we're opening lanes and we're protecting show. They do a lot on offense in any direction this year, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
So here's the thing: offensive lineman. It depends on who's available. Like
Sure.
if if Ione from the guy from
Yeah,
Penn
the Penn
State at
State dude.
guard,
Yep.
if he's available here, I'd be okay with it, but I wouldn't be okay with pregnant here.
Okay.
Offensive tackle, like you could go with any of the four, top three or four offensive
And
tackles. I'd be
yeah, I
fine
think there's
here.
plenty of tackles, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I agree with you. I wouldn't hate offensive line, but I also really do like. I think wide receiver. If you go with Tyson or Tate here, you have Olave. Is
Yeah.
Olave? Yeah, you have Olave. Also, you have your number one and number two wide receivers locked down. You have, and it's giving Shug the time to really show what he can do if he can really do it.
Yeah. I hear you. I'm good with that.
On to Kansas City. Kansas City needs a quarterback. I'm sorry, edge, wide receiver, defensive tackle. It was a little joke.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just
I mean,
about
we'll
Mahomes'
see
injury.
when is homie back. I don't know. They did bring in Justin Fields though, which is a weird trade to make, man. I don't
Yeah,
I don't get that, but okay.
I think um another defensive tackle. Defensive tackle is going to be a reach here. Wide receiver, I could see Lemon going here. I don't think it's that much of a reach. I think it's a little bit of a reach for Lemon here. I don't think he fits the Kansas City style. I do. I don't. I think Bain could be a good pick here.
Yeah, I think it's Bane. The way that Kansas City operates, they're not taking a wide receiver here. They just don't do that. And then even if they were thinking that, you don't know when Mahomes is available. So why would you draft a guy that maybe you're not going to fully utilize until later, right? And so I think Bain is a good pick in terms of the mock draft that Davis did.
Uh-huh.
I guess it just depends on 9 picks in, where's the board going to shake out?
Yeah. And then we have the Bengals, who ESPN has their needs as defensive tackle, offensive tackle, wide receiver, and Charles Davis has them taking Caleb Downs. I don't like the Caleb Downs pick here. I
Yeah,
think
wide
anyone.
receiver blows my mind that that's a top three need when you've got fucking Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Like, I don't know why you'd be going wide receiver, is a need. But defensive tackle, offensive tackle, yeah, sorry, I know I'm interrupting you, but yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead, man.
no, and that's kind of where I don't think wide receiver is a real need here. I think this pick here is one of the top four offensive tackles who are going to obviously be available, and it depends on which one you think fits your system
Yeah.
most.
Yeah, can you finally protect Joe Burrow?
Yeah, exactly. You need to protect Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's had too many
It,
injuries.
it's
He gets hit too
it's
many times.
it's tough because their defense is so bad that you know they got to throw darts at it. But is Caleb Downs the right pick? It's tough, dude. It's so hard to take a safety this high in the draft. It really is. And so that's going to push him down the board. It's just a fact of life, man.
No, 100%. Then we're on to Miami, who ESPN has their needs as wide receiver, edge, cornerback. I could see the stretch of the tight end being a wide receiver. Do I think that he's a first round tight end? What's his face? Sadiq?
Kenyon
Eh,
Sadiq. It's because this is
maybe.
a thinner year, and so his value is going to get inflated. I think he's going to be a really good tight end. It's just that he's not like what we saw with last year with Tyler Warren and whatever, you know.
Yeah. And I think the pick here is they've depleted their offense so much this offseason,
Yeah,
getting rid of all their wide receivers. I think the pick here is defense, going edge or cornerback as opposed to going offense, because I think you're looking at shoring up your defense
yeah.
first. So at edge, you're looking at TJ Parker, maybe a little bit of a stretch. I could see it though. Cornerback, you're looking at a little bit of stretch. Like pick value wise, the tight end makes sense, but
But offensively, it doesn't make sense.
exactly offensively, it doesn't make sense. I think they go edge or corner, or they could throw a dart on like if what's his face?
Yeah, they're hoping one of these edge guys fall to them. Otherwise,
Mhm.
Miami's kind of in no man's land because
Yeah,
they're not. I would say, hey, take one of these tackles and build your offensive line. But when you have Malik Willis at quarterback, it's like a weird. Why do that when you have such a mobile asset that it just not it doesn't make sense. And so, and I like the idea of Kenyon Sadiq because it's like you've seen the success with a guy like Lamar Jackson with Mark Andrews. And so, yeah, okay, well, hey, if you got a mobile quarterback, maybe give him a tight end. But Malik Willis doesn't seem to be that same blueprint, right? And so, um, man, I don't know. I think you're right. I think they got to go defense somehow.
all right, then we're on to Dallas. Dallas, top three needs linebacker, edge, cornerback. You're going to be hard pressed most, like when you get to edge or possibly outside linebacker, you're looking at a little bit of a reach here. When you're looking at cornerback, I'm assuming that Delaney, if Delaney's available, I think you take him. I'm assuming
Yeah.
Delaney's not going to be available. I think Dallas's best
Why? Yeah,
choice
but
here,
why are you assuming Delaney's not going to be available?
because I think Delaney is going to go to Miami.
Okay. Well, yeah, and I mean, I guess we're saying hypothetically, if he's there, you take him, right? Because
Yeah, if he's there, I'd like to pick for him. I don't think he's going to be available here. I think if Delaney's available, you take him. If he's not available, you try to trade back.
yeah, I can't argue with that. They're not getting Sonny Styles isn't sliding to them, so you know, yeah, I got you.
Then the Rams. The Rams listed top three needs: wide receiver, offensive tackle, corner back. I would,
You
I think
gotta
it'd be,
go. You gotta go tackle here, man.
I think it would be great if Mayugoa, however you pronounce it, is available and they're able to take him. I
Yeah,
think if you can get any of the top at this spot, if you could get any of the top four, 4 to 5 tackles, you shoot your shot at offensive tackle.
yeah.
Anything else to say there?
No, no, no. I agree with that, man. There's no issue.
All right. Baltimore needs interior offensive line, defensive tackle, wide receiver. Defensive tackle is a bit of a stretch at this point. Then I think wide receiver, because I'm assuming I'm assuming top two. Lemon. I don't know if Lemon size and play style fits Baltimore. He might still be available. Denzel Boston. That's a little bit of a stretch for me here at 14. It's not that too bad. I think if Spencer Fano is here, I think Spencer Fano is a great fucking pick for them.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Fano can basically play anywhere on the offensive line.
Yeah, and I don't really know what to expect from Baltimore now, right? Because John Harbaugh is gone. It's a whole new ball game. And so I like the Fano pick that Charles Davis has. I just don't really know what to expect from this team now in terms of what direction they're going to go. And they do have a rookie defensive minded head coach, which tells me he will fall into the trap and go offense.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so 15 with Tampa Bay. Let me just pose the question. Do you go Jeremiah Love now? Mike Evans is gone. You give them another weapon. You pair him with Bucky Irving, a guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield. And I think what Charles Davis is doing is the obvious, is that they need defensive help. But they are a little bit depleted now on offense.
Yeah. So Messidor is a little bit of a stretch here in my book. Um, I would like I think Jeremiah Love could do great things in Tampa. And to run it out, edge, linebacker, tight end is what they say, what ESPN says is
Yeah.
needed. So it makes sense. I think
Sadiq would maybe be a better fit,
exactly
but
that's where I was going to go. If Sadiq's available here, you might go Sadiq. If Sadiq isn't available here, actually, if Love's available here, I think you're right. You go Love. If Love isn't available here and Sadiq is, you go Sadiq. If Sadiq isn't available here, uh,
I just think at some point someone's gonna fire off on Love because he's sliding at
yeah,
this point. But the way the board plays out, if there's no trade up, he's gonna slide because a lot of these teams don't have a pressing need at running back.
mm-hmm. All right. I think we're on the same page there. On to 16 with the Jets.
Yep, round
According,
two. Meaning their second pick in the first round.
yeah. So here's the thing. I think this could be a shot at Ty Simpson here.
I actually would like that if they nab Ty Simpson at 16. Don't
I
wait
think,
too long. Still get the fifth year option. You're pairing him with Geno Smith, which is more of a pocket passing kind of bridge quarterback. Um, that would be a very logical thing, to be honest.
yeah, I think if he's available, I think that's where you pull the trigger on him. Um, I might even consider trying to move back a couple picks for it, but I think I would accept him at 16, even though I don't think he's a first round pick. I don't think Jermad McCoy. There's a lot of unknown because he still hasn't had his pro day, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think edge. You're looking at possibly Parker, which is not a bad pick. Falk, which is not a bad pick. But also, if you go edge with your first pick, I think you come back and pick Ty Simpson here, and I would be okay with it.
Yeah. I like that in theory, man. Which takes us to the homies.
The Detroit Lions. offensive line, edge, cornerback. Hate. I would hate it if they took a cornerback here.
Yeah, I mean, after the Tyrion Arnold fucking swing and miss, you know, it's so hard taking a cornerback in the first round, man. They have such a high bust rate. I look at teams like Los Angeles, in meaning the Rams, and I see what they did years ago with Jalen Ramsey, and now I see what they're doing now with what's his face from Kansas City. That to me is the blueprint at cornerback. Trade for a proven guy or sign proven guys in free agency because, man, it is the highest freaking bust rate in the draft. And so, not to say that Tyrion Arnold's done. I think Tyrion Arnold personally should move to safety. It's just not, he's got off field stuff going on now, too. So, but yeah, with the Lions, offensive line, edge, cornerback. Charles Davis is saying Caden Proctor. I was telling you before the show, I'm not so sure that this is where they go in round one because unless Proctor's moving into guard, it sounds an awful lot like Sewell's going to left tackle. Larry Borum's going to start at right tackle. You got Cade Mays at center, which means you have a need at left guard and right guard. I have heard that Proctor might move in, but I don't know. I don't know.
Guard with what I think is going to be available here is a little bit of a stretch.
Oh, no, I think guard at this stage is a round 2-3 pick. And maybe you go round 2 and 3 and just double down. We know they need edge.
I think, and if he were to be available here, I think TJ Parker wouldn't be a bad pick. I like going offensive line. I'd like it more if Proctor could play left, not right guard, because I don't want to move. I'm left, not right tackle, because I do not want to move Sewell to left tackle.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen, but I gotcha. Yeah, I think it's going to be an edge guy. Based on the way our board is falling, I think that if Charles Davis's board falls this way, I think it puts the Lions in a very tough predicament. And so I don't know where they go. I still don't think it's Proctor, but I think from the outside looking in, Proctor makes sense. It's just not going to happen to me.
No, I agree with you. All right, on to the Vikings.
Yes, Minnesota.
According to the internet, they need a center, a safety, and a wide receiver. I think Lemon is still a bit of a reach here.
Yeah, and I don't think they really need a wide receiver that bad. They still have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. So I would be honest. I would say that they could be primed for a fucking steal in the draft because, in my opinion, this is where Caleb Downs could end up sliding to unless someone trades up for him. I'm just not sold that teams are going that high for a safety.
Mm-hmm.
But in 18, I would see him being the guy. Davis is giving him the safety from Oregon, which is fine. I just think that,
But I think that's the right pick for them is to go safety here, whether it's Thieneman or if it's Downs. If Downs is here, fuck yeah, I run that pick in.
Yeah.
Like no.
Yeah, you're nailing it just like you did whatever last year or whatever with the edge guy. So. Yeah.
On to the Panthers. Their needs are, according to safety, wide receiver, edge. I kind of like Lemon going here. It's a little bit of a different style than McMillan. You'll have your 1-2 punch. You can really give Bryce Young.
I think options. They kind of just solved edge in free agency too, right? I don't think they're doubling down there. Safety, maybe if Downs is gone, or I mean, maybe if Downs slid and then Thieneman is there, maybe you got that option. But no, I got you, man. I think wide receiver's not a bad spot. I think it's tough because they've taken some shots at wide receiver and they've missed. And so it's like, how much are they going to be able to do and get away with from a fan base perspective, right? But they
Mm-hmm.
need one.
Then we're back to the Cowboys, who I forget who we had them taking at number 12.
We were it wasn't well, no, we were saying maybe cornerback, but if Delaney was
Yeah.
there, um but yeah, no, it's all right. Let's just let's roll.
I think CJ Allen is a good pick here. I don't have many arguments with it.
Yeah, I don't know. Jerry Jones is such a fucking weird fucking animal, man. It's like I would love to see Dallas just like wait for somebody to slide to them, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
going to happen. And that pick seems like a reach to me, but
It is a little bit of a reach, but when you compare their needs to would be available here,
yeah, and the defense being such a fucking sieve for them, yeah, I
I
got
mean,
you.
Falk couldn't be a bad wouldn't be a bad pick here, but I
It's all right. What's wrong with it?
Pittsburgh. They're not taking a fucking
They're
wide
not taking a
receiver.
wide receiver. They got fucking DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman Jr. now. Why would they go wide receiver?
According to ESPN, that's one of their top needs.
These are the things that bother me, right? Like sometimes they're just so wildly off. Um, this is another safety spot, and I do think that the safeties are going to slide, and so
Mm-hmm.
maybe they have a chance to get fucking Thiemann or whatever his name is. But um, man, I don't know. I don't know. And honestly, you're getting later into the first round where I would be comfortable going after the next available interior offensive lineman, or even maybe a guy like Caden Proctor if you think you can move him into the interior of the offensive line.
So here's the thing, and how Charles Davis has this falling out. They have Ioane going to the Chargers next. I think if the guy from Penn State is available here,
Oh,
I think
the
Pittsburgh
Steelers
jumps
are
on that.
yeah, the Steelers just locked it in if they got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of the Chargers, they need interior offensive line and some other positions. Right guard,
Yeah,
left guard, and defensive tackle. The right guard's the pick here, not defensive tackle. I think Ione.
I think Harbaugh is looking defensive tackle here, man. I'm just going to be honest. I think that he
McDonald wouldn't be
knows
that
that
bad.
I think that he knows their offensive line was bad because both of their starting tackles were out for the entire year. They lost Mekhi Becton, but he fucking sucked for them because he's been
Mm-hmm.
streaky his whole career, minus the 1 year in Philadelphia. And then they lost Zion Johnson. I think their offensive line is going to be fine with both of their starting tackles coming back, and maybe they get a guard in the second or third round. And I think that Jim Harbaugh is saying, Cade McDonald here, we need to boost the
Mm-hmm.
defense. You know, he's a defensive minded guy, man. He's a defensive minded guy, even though he was a quarterback.
Yeah, and I'm starting to mentally wear out.
All
Two
right, so
minutes
let's
left.
burn through.
Philadelphia. Philadelphia is going to go offensive tackle. I agree with that. Whoever's available, best available offensive
It's a
tackle.
smart move. Yeah, it's a smart move.
Cleveland, I think here, this is the spot where if Ty Simpson falls all the way to here, Cleveland would take a shot on him. Um,
Yeah,
if not, offensive line seems like a good pick. I outside of that, I'm hard pressed to find somebody that they could take here.
sure. Yeah, Cleveland. Cleveland, yeah, it's going to depend on where the board shakes out at this point. Yeah, but yeah, let's keep going, man.
All right, Chicago. Chicago needs edge, safety, center. Center's a reach. Safety could be a good pick here. Edge could be a good pick here. I don't think defensive tackle is a good pick here at all.
No, we know that they're going to go up the board because they always do, but it's still a little bit of a reach.
Buffalo has their needs at one more team, and we'll have to wrap it at the end. Buffalo edge, linebacker, wide receiver. I think edge is a good pick. Wide receiver, depending on who's available, might be a decent pick here. Let's see, we already have Lemon, so you're looking at Boston or Omar Cooper Jr. Those wouldn't be a bad pick
Yeah,
here.
I don't think after DJ Moore, they're not taking a wide receiver. They're going DJ Moore and Keon Coleman, and they'll be fine. They got two tight ends. They're good.
San Francisco, I had 6
We're
seconds.
less than a minute, man. Yeah, you want to
We're at
call
four
it
seconds.
or you want to
No,
want to keep
let's do
going,
the 10.
my man?
All right. Last 7 picks. San
Sure.
Francisco. San Francisco needs safety, edge, offensive line. Charles Davis hasn't taken an offensive line here, offensive tackle. I don't know if I really like that with like Messidor, who I think will be here, or Zion Young. Those could be good picks. I think McNeil Warren could be a good pick and a fit and need for them here. I don't. I think Blake Miller is a little bit of a stretch here.
I think if they can get an, I think if they can get an edge guy, that's where they got to go because Bosa keeps getting hurt, and it's the thinnest we've seen that defensive line in many years in San Francisco. But I think if they cannot get the edge guy, someone like Blake Miller is a solid prospect because Shanahan historically has been great at finding nobodies to be good on the offensive line. But the last like 2, 3 years, man, it's been a little bit streaky. And so it wouldn't be bad to like put a little bit more horsepower into that. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and then where Houston needs interior offensive line, defensive tackle, cornerback. I think I don't think McDonald will be available here.
I think a
Interior,
cornerback is going to slide to them. But are you really going to take another round one cornerback when you got Stingley and you can maybe get more bang for your buck elsewhere?
yeah, but like I think I think if McDonald's not available here, I think your best pick is going to be offensive line.
Well, I agree. And their offensive line was dicey as heck last year. They made like a ton of moves in free agency to try and address it, but it wouldn't hurt to just say, hey, we're going to get like a long term building block right now in the draft.
Yeah, and we're back. Didn't we already do Kansas City? Why the fuck
Once
do I have?
before, yes.
So again, edge, wide receiver, defensive tackle.
I think this is a more likely landing spot of where they would go for a wide receiver,
Yeah,
but
I was looking at Denzel Boston or Cooper Jr. I mean, even Bernard's a little bit of reach, but it's not that bad of a pick here.
yeah, I think if they satisfied the defense early on, they would go wide receiver here. Otherwise, honestly, it would not hurt for them to double down on defense because it did get very thin this offseason. They lost a lot of guys,
Mm-hmm.
especially a cornerback. They lost both of their cornerbacks.
Then we're back to Miami with the number 30 pick. I think
Yeah.
McNeil Warren, if he's available here, I think it's a no brainer.
Yeah, I think for Miami, it's, you're going best available. You've got a whole new regime. So many things are changing. We talked about the Malik Willis thing and the offensive line, and it's like You're just basically taking the best guy available because you have so
Mm-hmm.
many holes to fill, and it just we don't know what you're going to get out of this new group, man. I really don't know what to expect.
And New England, who we haven't talked about, so we'll mention any offensive line, edge, linebacker. I I think the tackle here is a bit of a stretch. I mean, in Belichick era, like that would be like they'd pick like Caleb Tiemann, who's like 188 overall in the first round because Belichick didn't
Yeah.
know his ass from a hole in the ground when it came to draft. Linebacker, I think, is really the pick here. So you're looking at like kind of like linebacker or edge is really the pick.
I
I
mean,
think
offensive tackle definitely burned him in the Super Bowl, but are you going to get the guy that makes a difference here? That I'm not sure about.
no,
And
and it's a bit of a
I
stretch here.
yeah, that's what I'm going to say is that I think the way the board's going to fall, it's going to be hard pressed for them to find the right value. But I do think the concept is right with what Charles Davis is trying to do.
Yeah. All right. The last one, Seattle. They need a
They did
running.
lose Tariq Woolen, so
Mm-hmm.
Avion Terrell, if he's there, it's not a bad spot to take the chance.
So running back, edge, cornerback. Um, I think corner is probably the pick here, and like honestly,
Yeah,
like
because
even if
running back, they're happy with Charbonnet, even though he's coming off the injury. They're happy with whatever Bo Melton or whatever is being his counterpart, and they maybe go and get a guy in the middle rounds to fill out the running back room. So it's gonna be a defensive pick, right?
yeah, and I think any of these cornerbacks that are like with Terrell, McCoy, even I'd be even okay with Hood here.
Yeah, they don't have to be a number one, which puts them in a prime position to come in and develop. Like that's where teams typically fail with cornerbacks is we're drafting you to be our number one right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And like 9 times out of 10, it just does not work that way. But if you can bring in a guy that's going to be your two, it's a way better recipe for success.
Yeah,
And that guy could develop to be a one, but don't make him be that guy right out of the gate.
100% there. Well, that would be our critique.
Yes.
I'm sure whoever's still listening has comments, thoughts on how fucking off we are. Go ahead, leave them while you're at it. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. Even if we make your blood boil, it's entertainment.
Yeah. It's good times. All right, my man. You have a good night, bud. I'll catch
All
you
right, sounds
later.
good. Have a good one.
Gridiron Grinder. Hut, hut, hike.